Welcome back, Glucose Warriors, to another episode of That Diabetes Guy. My name's Nick, and in this episode, I interviewed an amazing pharmacist who's going to talk about CGMs. She's going to give some expert tips, show off the latest models, and even at the very end, I asked her a whole bunch of questions about non-related diabetes questions that I think everyone's going to have a good laugh about. So stay tuned and enjoy.
Well, my name is Diana Isaacs. I'm a clinical pharmacist, and I'm also the CGM and Remote Monitoring Program Coordinator at the Cleveland Clinic Diabetes Center.
And 1 to 10, how nervous are you about this interview? 10 being really nervous.
We'll go with like a 5.
Okay. Can you just tell us, what is a CGM?
Yeah, so a CGM is a continuous glucose monitor. It monitors blood sugars. It actually has a tiny sensor. It goes slightly under the skin. I like to think of it like an eyelash that is just barely under the skin, and it is sensing that blood sugar level and communicating that with a transmitter to some type of reader, receiver, or more commonly now people's cell phones to see what the blood sugars are. And it measures blood sugars every 1 to 5 minutes, depending on the device. And if you do the math with that, it ends up being anywhere from 288 to 1,440 readings per day. So it provides a lot of information about blood sugars. Yeah, so it can be worn in a lot of different places, most commonly the abdomen or the arm, and each device has an FDA-approved spot, so depending on the device, although they can be worn off-label in other places where insulin is injected. The other approved site, more commonly in kids, is the upper buttocks area. I think there's a lot of pros to wearing CGM. So it allows one, because there's so much information, to really understand the effects of food, medications, physical activity, stress, and how that impacts the blood sugar levels, with the goal of trying to achieve the targets more easily. The other thing is, everyone's unique. And so, even things like coffee or sleep or, a ton of different things, feeling tired or stressed out, can impact people's blood sugars in unique ways. And by wearing this, you really get to learn all about that. In terms of cons, you are wearing something. So, they're pretty small, but you do have something attached to your body. And the other thing that I see happen is there's alerts and alarms with most of these devices that can let a person know if it's high or if it's low. And that's great because it can be life-saving. But that also can be really annoying, especially if the alerts are not set well. And so I see that happen sometimes where the thing is waking people up at night, but really, we often can work together to just reset those alerts so that it's not, driving a person crazy.
Who should have a CGM?
Well, I think everyone should have a CGM, but there's definitely some people that really, really will benefit from it. So I think for sure anyone who's on multiple daily injections of insulin, and that will include, all people with type 1 diabetes, or I should say insulin pump therapy. But also there's tons of people with type 2 diabetes that are also on multiple daily injections. But also, even if they're not on multiple injections of insulin, there's a lot of people on medications that can cause blood sugars to go too low. And for that, having a CGM can be really helpful and life-saving. In addition to that, though, even the person that's on maybe one medication for their diabetes, maybe even no medications, the advantage of having all that information and seeing the direct effects of food can be so helpful. So I really think, everyone with diabetes could benefit from CGM.
What are the available CGM options today?
Yeah, well, we have a few different ones. So first, I want to just start off by saying, there's professional CGM, which is owned by the clinic and lent out to the person with diabetes and worn on a short-term basis. But then there's personal CGM, which is owned by the person with diabetes. We actually have 4 different options, and I'm going to go ahead and show you some of those right now. So we have the Dexcom G6. And this, is FDA approved to go onto the stomach. And you can see here, this transmitter right there, and that's what's going to go onto the person, and there's an insertion device that helps it to stay on. And actually this little gray transmitter piece ends up coming out, and you reuse it over a 3-month period. And this one's changed out every 10 days. Now there's actually an implantable CGM, which is so interesting. And this one is used, it's actually implanted into the arm. It's done through an office procedure. And this, in case you're wondering, this is the part that actually goes in the arm. This is the sensor. And this goes in the arm for 3 months. And then there is an outer transmitter. This part goes on the back of the arm. So it just kind of go like that. Of course, it would go under my shirt, not over my shirt normally. But the nice thing about this is this transmitter, you actually, you do have to charge it every day, but it's so easy to take it off. And so for the kind of person that wants to be able to just disconnect sometimes, it offers that nice option of being able to disconnect. And actually there's on-body vibe alerts. So if you don't have your smartphone or your receiver, it will still vibrate to let you know if you're having a high or low blood sugar. And then we also have Libre, and Libre looks like this. It's like the size of a quarter, and this is FDA approved to go on the back of the arm. And I wanted to just go ahead and show you, do a little demo, because, some people are like, oh, what's the CGM? Like, is it going all the way into me? Is it delivering insulin into me? And no, it barely goes into you. It's really easy to insert it, and it is not delivering insulin or any kind of medications to you. So I'm just going to show you real fast actually how easy it is to administer. I'm going to, right here, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And this is an expired one, so don't worry, I'm not taking it away from a person that needs it. And I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and line these up like that. I press down, I pull out. And there is a needle in there, which I know, that part's a little scary, but that needle doesn't actually stay in you. That needle goes in real fast, comes right back out, kind of like when you lance your finger. And then what does go into you is that tiny little filament. So our little dog here is gonna try it out. So my poor dog, he has all these insulin infusion sets. He's used to getting a lot of holes put into him. But I'm gonna go right here, and I just go 1, 2, 3, and look at that. That was that easy. It's on. And I would, I don't have my reader here, but perhaps you can create one. I would take my reader and I would just go ahead and scan it to go ahead and start it. So it's that easy. And this one is changed out every 14 days. And then the last one I want to talk about is Medtronic. The Guardian Connect is another one. It can be worn for 7 days. It's FDA approved for the abdomen or the upper arm. And that one does have a reusable transmitter that is actually good for a year or a year or more, I should say, and does need to be charged in between uses. And just one other difference between devices, in addition to kind of the size and how they look, are some require what's called calibrations or finger sticks, while others are factory calibrated and you do not need to do finger sticks. So both Dexcom and Libre are what's considered to be factory calibrated.
If someone was interested in a CGM, what would be the next steps you would suggest?
Well, I would say definitely talk to your healthcare team and let your team know that you're interested in CGM. And so often the step, depending on what type you get and what type of insurance you have, but many times a prescription can be sent to the pharmacy. With some insurance plans, you have to go and you have to go a separate route, which is a durable medical equipment company. But the first step is definitely ask your healthcare team about it. I do want to plug, if this is okay, there is a great website called ThatDiabetesGuy.org. And I really like it because it talks about different types of technologies out there. And so if you're not sure what kind of CGM you want or whatever type of technology, that can be a great website too to learn more, which is not industry sponsored.
How do you feel right now? 1 to 10, 10 being really anxious. How do you think you're doing?
Well, I think this is almost over, so I think I'm looking at a 1. I'm having fun now.
We'll just wait till these next questions because they have nothing to do with diabetes.
Oh no! Okay. Now I'm scared. Now I'm at a 9.
Okay. All right. First off, we'll start with an easy one. Does this shirt make me look fat?
No.
All right, next question. See, I told you it was an easy one, right? Is it pronounced Gyro or Euro?
Euro.
Ramen or ramen?
Ramen.
Superman or Batman?
Superman.
16 Candles or The Breakfast Club?
16 Candles.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Buccaneers or Chiefs?
I'm glad you told me who was playing. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. The Chiefs.
Can you spell silk?
SILK.
What do cows drink?
Milk. They don't drink
Wait,
milk.
And you're a pharmacist? That's taking off the white coat. That's a new segment I'm introducing.
I feel like my face is really red right now.
Well, I think asking you if the shirt makes me look bad kind of set up.
And then your face. It wasn't the question, it was the way your face was.
Yeah, I'm going to cut that part out. It's just going to be your reaction. That was amazing, Diana. Thanks for being a great sport and really answering all my crazy questions. That's it for this episode. This is actually just part 1 of a 2-part series. And if you want to hang around to the end of the video, you can click on the second part 2 series. And really, Diana's going to talk about CGM reports, time and range targets, and so much more. So I think you're going to really enjoy that video as well. So that's it for this episode. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, maybe liking, sharing it to friends, family, or anybody who would maybe enjoy this. Until next time, take care.